Oh my god. I love this song. Let me know when you're done. I'll flip over. All right. Oh, fuck.
Hello.
So there was this one time at Color Guard Camp. Oh, okay. Hi, fam. Welcome to another episode of Take a Breath, our weekly review. Well, not so weekly review now, but weekly-ish review of our Saturday Vampire Chronicles, The Last Breath. Today, well, let's start off. Thorono Gaming. Hi, I play William, James, and Frank. And I'm joined today by...
I'm Cymark. I play Gabe.
Ginny, I play everyone else.
She's the queen of the castle, we're dirty vassals. Let's go ahead and just dive into what happened. Like, normally we have a little bit of fluff here where, you know, we shoot the shit and all that, but let's just dive on in. Like, yesterday was a lot to unpack. It's the first time we got back together in a long time.
About 2 weeks.
Yeah, give or take.
Well, being sick does not exactly help me storytell.
True that. So, if I recall correctly, the scene opened, some of us were roused, some of us were not so roused, some of us, you know, drank out of somebody else's fridge, and she was okay with it, because, you know, I apparently live there now.
You actually kind of do now.
It's unfortunate.
So weird.
Yeah, right? Like, I miss
Meanwhile,
my
Gabe's
warehouse.
just like crashing at your house. Just
Yeah, I miss my warehouse. Like, there were no obligations. I could just get on my bike and go down to the bar and shoot shit for nights on end.
you're gonna come back and it's gonna be trash. So,
It's gonna come back and it's gonna be reorganized.
sure.
Also, you're gonna find where the not SARS is, and I'm gonna have some explaining to do.
Wait a minute. I have a question now. Is Gabe going to actually go through the warehouse and kind of slowly kind of look around to see what Frank has?
Oh yeah, Gabe's nosy as hell.
Oh yeah, I expected
Gabe's
that.
like looking for everything. He's like, oh, where does he keep the nudie mags?
Do me a
Like,
favor.
Yes.
Roll me wits and awareness.
Wits and awareness. Saw that coming.
Wouldn't it be Winston investigation?
No, because he's just looking around for a bit. He's not actually investigating yet.
I mean, he's actively looking. He's not just like passively looking. He is like opening drawers.
Oh,
like,
okay. Well
going
then,
through every
go for
closet.
investigation then.
Like, yeah, Gabe's a nosy asshole.
Okay,
No.
go for investigation then.
All right. Not as good as wits and awareness, but that's fine. Okay. Crit 4.
So with a crit 4, what would Gabe find?
Well, he probably would have found the SARS, but he wouldn't have found the not SARS, so that's good.
Wow. Wow.
Possibly... I'm just going through the list in my head of, like, what Frank actually has to fuck around with people.
Oh God.
I'm keeping notes, by the way.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, I mean, you would have found the not SARS. You probably would have found a culture for the Black Plague, because that's not really well hidden. That's more of a, you know, timepiece that he had just for, you know, posterity's sake.
That's fair.
Probably would have
They are?
found... Probably would have found a culture for... Yeah, fuck it. We'll just throw HIV and AIDS, you know, different cultures in for those.
See, and Gabe would think, oh, this is great. This is not a bad thing. But where's the waifu pillow? Like,
No waifu pillow, but if you did check his pillows, you're gonna find some shit. I mean, there's a reason why he always keeps a gun under his pillow. Like,
All right.
did you check the pillows? Like, I'm curious.
I said I would go through shit. Oh, I mean, I don't know. What does a crit 4 get for me? Like,
I don't know. It depends. What area are you investigating? What areas do you think?
If you're not there and I'm there, okay. Keep in mind, for like the last week, Gabe has literally not left your warehouse.
Shit.
Okay, so then I need...
Yeah, give me like 3 or 4 more rolls.
Actually,
to
7.
Other nights.
Give me 7.
Okay.
Oh shit. Okay, hold on.
We're gonna roll with this.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. That's a flat 4. 1, 2. That's a 2. Oh, that's good. Crit 5. That's only a 2. 2, 4, crit 5, 2. 1, 2, crit 6.
Okay, you would have found the not SARS, so the H3 N2 H2 N2 influenza cross breed that he's been working on.
And then 3. I think that was 6, right? 2 2s, a 4, crit 5, crit 6, and 3.
Hold on, give me a second. I'm looking for the fucking count. Okay. It was 2.
I mean, with the 3, you probably would have found the cholera.
Okay, so you had 2 2s.
2 2s, flat 4, crit 5.
Okay, hold on. God fucking damn it. Okay, 2 plus 2 plus what?
2 plus 2 plus flat 4.
Uh-huh.
Plus crit 5.
5.
Plus crit 6.
Uh-huh.
Plus 3. That's 6.
Uh-huh.
And then another 2.
All right, so are you purely looking for like diseases and stuff, or just anything that looks interesting?
Okay, so you have 24 successes with a crit.
Yeah, so you've more or less found every single disease that I had stored away.
Okay.
Short of one that might be under the floorboards, because I don't think Gabe's that.
Oh, no, I probably wouldn't dig up the floorboards.
Okay. And then under the pillow, you probably would have found his burn book.
You have a burn book?
You have a
I
bird
keep a
book.
bit list. Like,
Is Gabe in the bird book?
question marks are next to your name. Not sure yet. To be decided.
Hashtag sus.
He's flattered.
Like, Frank views you as a possible threat. He's not sure yet.
I mean...
He likes to think about those things, you know, like, very considerate of, well, the Malkavian's a wild card, so, you know, of course, Amelia is in the book. Well, mostly Charlotte's in the book with, like, daggers through the... Amelia just has a couple question marks herself.
So yeah, that's
with the flash in between.
So yeah, that's okay. Cool. So I found a bunch of diseases. I found your bird book. So yeah.
Yeah. Are you looking for any particular names other than your own?
I mean, I would probably just browse for names that I recognize. I can't imagine I would do like anything super. And then what I would probably do is take a red pen and be like, "Oh, you should totally kill them."
Just put it in the margins.
Yeah. No, don't kill
God.
them. They make good. They make good empanadas. I don't know, like you write shit like that.
Here's the question. Is Boblin in there?
I mean, there's only one single question mark next to her name. It's not like Gabe where there's like a bunch where, you know, Frank's actually having trouble with that decision.
Okay. Next to Boblin, Gabe would be like, "No, how dare you?"
God, he's going to have to burn that warehouse down and get a new one.
All right, cool. We've divulged really far.
No, that's fine. But
horribly awry.
But now Gabe knows what is in.
Yeah, the contents.
Yeah.
You will notice that William probably has a couple question marks next to it where he's not sure.
Gabe finds the whiteouts, crosses out William's name with whiteout.
Not William. Abel probably, you know, had the, you know, marking saying, "Hey, let's ace this motherfucker." But later on, it just got scratched through, like, really hastily. You could tell, just like you could
many
make it
a second thought was had.
Well, it was when he realized that Abel was less of a threat than he thought he was. I mean, there's a reason why he's still in the phone as Idiot Savant.
Aww. Poor Abel. He's such a...
I mean, he could get lucky twice.
You're not
and it'd be
wrong.
impressive. Let's see, who else would be in the burn? Obviously, Jackson would probably be in the burn book.
Gabe's gonna circle that one with a big fucking highlighter.
Kind of with you on that one.
Trying to think. Olivia probably has some question marks. You will notice that Stanislaw is in there, just like in blood red. Like, you know, Frank almost probably wrote in his own blood, like, fuck this guy.
This man must die.
Like, the rest might seem, you know, fine, but him and a Russian broad, Anastasia, are both written in the same color red.
Question. Being from the events of last night, he hasn't been able to cross that name out yet, has he?
Nope.
Good to know. So that, my dear Gabe, might be your...
Yes.
Yeah, there you go. I think you have now finally found out who that blood belongs to. Taste of Blood is a fantastic one level.
No, that's fine.
Frank, Gabe's gonna have talks with you soon.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, I'm anticipating that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't leave things around written or for my own good. Like,
I
know who I want to kill.
oh, we know. Just somebody got a suit coat yesterday.
Oh, yeah, that's gonna be fun. That's fine.
And somebody
It's
did.
accomplished.
And immediately after beating William in chess, decided to.
I mean, it was best 2 out of 3, and
Right.
William's
right,
quite sure that you cheated the third time.
He has no proof.
Does his eyes deceive him?
You wouldn't be able to tell. He doesn't look you directly in the eye.
Exactly.
He knows better.
Look into my eyes and find out who your daddy is.
Nope.
All right. So, anyways, we divulged quite a bit there. Long story short, we woke up. We were thirsty. We weren't thirsty. There was a rando at Olivia's door.
Howard is not a rando.
He was a rando.
He was a rando. He's a filthy
Wasn't his
rando.
name Bill or something?
Howard.
Howard.
Yeah, Stark.
Rando.
So Stark was at the door.
No, that was his
like,
brother.
and just passed off a little note to Olivia saying, "You're formally invited to visit Stanislav's estate for a night of debauchery and whatever the hell else is
It was fun.
I'm sure it was in
revelry.
Russian.
Actually,
I'm sure it was in Russian.
Probably was. I just didn't think about that one yet.
Yeah, well, it's in the flavor text. I thought it was in Russian.
Okay, there you go.
Or maybe Ukrainian. I don't know. One of the two.
It was in another language that Frank can't read.
Yeah, working on that.
Good to know.
But then she started reaching out to people saying, "Hey, y'all want to go to a party?" And Frank was initially like, "Nah, I don't want to. I don't have a suit." And then, reached out to Gabe, and Gabe reached out to William, and William was like, "No." Hard no.
And Gabe only agreed to go because, yes, Gabe was in, emo, mess mode, but...
Oh, my hair isn't long enough to do it.
The thought of watching the clans snip at one another behind each other's backs was just... couldn't pass it up. So that's why Gabe won.
That's fair.
To watch people play.
Yeah.
And how did Gabe like it?
We'll get to that. Don't jump ahead, Junie.
So Gabe got Frank's suit. Colorful suits.
Pretty suit.
I'm glad you gave me decisions. Or choices.
Popped on over to Olivia's, was like, take your suit. Let's
Frank
go.
made the awkward comment of, "Well, where should I dress? I've been sleeping on the couch. Which room?" He only knows where the kitchen is for what it's worth.
Just drop Trow in the kitchen.
I mean,
that's kind of what I was expecting.
Be a
Gabe
kindred. Who cares?
I wasn't sure if it would matter to the. I mean, it wasn't a kindred; it was a ghoul, right?
Yeah, I don't think he cared either.
Yeah, like he was just asking for modesty's sake.
I was gonna say, I think
somebody
Olivia
else
would have been the
pet.
only person who cared.
Yeah.
She's close enough to her humanity to make it awkward. So.
I mean, come on, you could just go, yeah, hold on for a minute, doink, drink.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about. It's just like, fuck it, Frank doesn't care. But there's that consideration for the little one that's still close to her humanity.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you are still slightly close to your humanity. What's your humanity at?
We're not going to talk about that. This isn't about me. It's about her.
No. Hey, why are you evading?
Why? What's all the deflection there, sir?
What's your humanity at?
I mean, I would like to think that it's not 6, but it's probably 6.
You are. Hold on. Well, I mean, Sai's at. Where's your?
I'm at
humanity?
6.
Yeah.
3, 6. Yeah, I'm at 6. So.
Yeah. So what? You are still kind of close to your humanity.
I'm close, but I have no qualms about breaking laws, like.
Well, I mean.
Human laws.
But
regardless, like I said, it's not about me. Let's move on.
Typical
wow,
Rono.
the redirection.
Redirect.
I mean, there's more to tell. Like, there's a lot to unpack in a short amount of time. And quite frankly, I just want to pull the trigger and watch what happens. So...
All right, fair enough.
Diving on in. Y'all get in the limo, I get on my bike. We scamper over to Stanislaus, which is, if I remember correctly, Junie said it was an hour and a half away, an hour away.
It was about an hour.
We park in different places. Well, the limo pulls up, and Frank parks his bike in a different place. Smells a bunch of humans and ghouls, and so he knows this event's kind of until he walks in and it smells like, oh, everyone here is me, except not me.
Yeah, they were not you, because there is only one.
Ghoulies.
There's only one Runo.
Ghoulies and
Thank God
vampires. I don't know. I think there's a lot of me floating around there. Well, not like that. Let's not get it twisted. Anyways, moving on. Some conversations were had. We met Stanislaus. Frank politely removed himself from the conversation after, a brief hello, how are you, such and such, formalities. Started looking around the room to find people to discuss things with. Not finding anyone interesting, he scampered over to the prince, but meanwhile, in the Batcave...
so Gabe was pretty much just escorting Olivia until he saw Johnny, and was like, oh, Johnny, how are you? And Johnny was like, haha, good, and stuff. And Gabe was like, that's great. And then we saw Frank having a conversation with Prince.
Yeah.
And was like, oh, that's gonna go horrible.
It could have.
It could have.
I mean, I wouldn't have minded staking him, but there was,
Well, there's people there and stuff.
Yeah, like, the odds were against me. If there were 2 of me, it would have been fine, but...
Being there's only one of you.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, Gwen's like a super souped-up version of me.
Gwen is a souped-up version of you.
So then Gabe came over, was, like, trying to play the big distraction of, like, hey, Frank, come give me a hug. What the fuck are you doing?
Where's Rachel? Where are the white women?
Where is she? Yeah, basically.
Yeah. No. I got the passive-aggressive tone under that. Like, Gabe is never that friendly towards Frank. And Frank just went with it because he was like, oh, something important probably happened. Oh, never mind. He's just being a pissed off.
Yeah,
fucking Tremere. I'm surprised he didn't just chain me right there and, Anyways.
We're having a talk outside!
Room full of people.
Room full of people makes the medicine go down. I get it.
Not wrong.
So... that conversation was had. Then we noticed Olivia was missing, and we were like, "Oh, that was you had one job," and you were like, "No, you had one job."
You both had one job, and you just like
and we scampered around as fast as possible to find her.
Right.
Many convictions were tested. Many tenants were played. And I mean, did we get anything useful out of that conversation other than the fact that she didn't have any glamour?
Actually, yeah. there was so in the conversation with Sierra, I believe is her name.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was taking notes.
Yeah, I also was taking notes.
Yeah.
Missing her glamour, needs a source of glamour so she can go back to the Batcave and, enslave her people.
That was a fun conversation.
Yeah, that she's really trying to murk the hell out of wares and, doggos of any sort.
That, and there was a couple other little hints that she was laying about.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Kidnapping people.
Yep.
Especially mages. She learned not to do that again.
Yeah, which means mages are going to be our best allies.
Yeah, I got a whole 2 pages of notes out of that conversation.
Yeah.
So that was worth it for me.
Nice.
Frank's probably going to end up reaching out to Rachel and seeing it, barking up that tree for a goal later on. Just saying.
We did have to stop the conversation because Frank was going to lose his temper.
Yeah, he was about to rage.
So when she was like, "Hey, Gabe, do you have that pin?" And Gabe was like, "Oh yes, the special anti-rage pin.
Yeah.
Yes, I have it."
I mean, if he was a berserker, a barbarian, he'd be like, "Excuse me, I would like to rage."
Yeah. Gabe be like, "No, stop.
It's okay.
No, buddy, please don't.
Don't rage."
I want to see how this plays out.
Here's a special pen.
Mildly tempted.
Here's a special pen. Just calm yourself.
Yeah. No, it was calculated. That was the one thing that I could think of that, Gabe would probably have on him for emergencies.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And fortunately, I mean...
There's a couple things, but that's always one of them. Yeah.
Yeah. The others, your fingers, your tongue, because with those you can be like, James.
After that conversation, we went out to the garden with Gwen, correct?
Yes.
Gwen had a decent back and forth about the status of Josh and things of that sort. And maybe I shouldn't glaze over those details. Junie, you probably remember what Gwen said better than I do because she's your character.
Sure. Of course. Absolutely.
Hold on. Let me pull up my notes.
Get into it then.
Let me explain. No, there is too much there. Let me sum up.
What's a long story short and a short story in the footnotes?
Gwen dropped a lot of rumors and shit on people just to see what was going to be bouncing off, getting reactions, and seeing who and what everyone is kind of allied with, or who is loyal to who. On top of that, she did actually drop rumors that were spreading around in court, so she wasn't really lying, nor was she deceiving anyone.
Yeah.
But she was actually going and jumping the gun a little bit, because as she was giving out these rumors, she knows for a fact what is true and what isn't. However, with Josh in play, and other people still kind of allied with Josh, it's best to try and feel out and find out what's going on. Plus, she wanted to see exactly how loyal the coterie was to William.
Schrodinger's. I mean, I think Frank was the only one that said, well, why don't we just ask him? Leveraging Gabe's friendship with him.
But at the same point, when Frank brought that up, one's thinking, Rono doesn't really know. Or, I'm sorry, Frank doesn't really know, but at the same time, Frank's going, let's just go directly to the source, and I'm not going to speculate, because I'm above that bullshit.
Yeah. True. I deal in facts, not fiction. And
that's fair. On top of that, with Gwen trying to find out what's going on with everything, and kind of, trying to play, who's sus, the coterie kind of showed their true colors in a unique fashion. Not only in supporting William and trashing Josh, but at the same time going, look, we are still not Camarilla, we are still Anarch, and we are still being the way that we are. We're not going to be trying to go into this bullshit. And of course, Frank going, but wait a minute! I have a boon. Who holds my boon now? And that's actually the biggest question of all, because nobody knows who's killed the prince, or how the prince died exactly.
Or if the prince died.
No, the prince is pretty dead.
Prince is actually dead, 100%. Okay. Okay, because
There's
there
no
was that offer.
Schrodinger death. It's yeah. Somebody
No,
walked into her room. There was a pile of ash, and
Oh.
people that were the ghouls. See, now with Tremere cannot blood bond other kindred.
Right.
They can blood bond
Ghoulies.
ghouls. And when you see several piles of ash and a couple of dead bodies of ghouls that have been around for hundreds of years, you know.
Okay, I was not aware it was 100% like that. I figured it was just now you see me. Now you don't.
It was, now you see me. There I am in a pile of ash.
Oof.
So that's why.
I'll work on that one.
But there's not a whole lot of details that have been let go yet of her death, or how she died, or how people found her. So people are really trying to be rumor milled and suspecting people. And of course, everyone's looking at Jackson because all of a sudden a Tremere prince is out of power and dead, and now we have a Venture Prince, which is completely sus. So playing off of that, Jackson's like, hey, I didn't do it. I was getting into power anyhow. I just took over. So he's like, catch me, yo.
Yeah, catch me if you can.
So
What I got from that.
pretty much. And so the investigation with the hounds and everything is going in a way that Gwen is spreading out all this misinformation to come to see who's whoever. Okay, so in criminology, people are very prideful about what they do. Everyone has a thing that they are. Look, I did this. This is one of my accomplishments. To kill a prince and part of her court. Tell me somebody doesn't have a little bit of pride on that one. So if you spread the misinformation and somebody goes, wait a minute, wasn't this the thing? And she'll go, well, funny, nobody else knew about that. How did you know?
All right.
How do you catch a thief?
Carefully.
Exactly. Throw out
Plays,
the
counterplays.
throw out the misinformation, and the person that comes in going, well, I heard it was this. Really? How did you hear? And then come through it that way. Not to mention, they're also trying to deal with the Tremere break-in.
No, I was just thinking something about last season, completely unrelated. We can touch on it later.
Okay. You can touch on it anytime you want.
Anyway, so all that happened.
Well,
Artemis kicked down the door and started blasting after Gwen removed herself to go play with fire or whatever.
Gwen had to go. Gwen had to go do something, and Artemis came in as that backup, lovely character, going, "How y'all doing, darlings?"
And Olivia opened her mouth. Clotho's gift was popped to put a hand over her mouth. I really need to get a power that isn't that strong to do menial tasks, is what I got out of that. But anyways.
Because somebody got a little bit hungry.
Yeah, hungry enough to be like, God fucking damn, not again. But fortunately, the word glamour was not used.
That's fair.
Because,
At least not then.
Yeah, well, not by anybody in the coterie, so.
But, I have to say, it was actually quite interesting to see the playoff on Gabriel, Frank, and Olivia in a more kind of like social setting. Where you're not actually trying to investigate. You're not going into a battle. You're not going into anything, and you're how to navigate within the kindred world.
Not trying to investigate? I'm calling bullshit. Did you see what Gabe did? Did you see what I did about my boon? We were all about that investigation.
Well, you're not investigating something directly, as in, like, you're going in there Scooby style, going, we might get caught!
Yeah, it was a passive investigation.
Yes.
That's fair.
I will
It
go
was
with that.
Schmoozing. It was a schmoozing.
It was a nice schmoozing, too. Nice to see you guys have to turn around and play a different facet of your character. Especially when Olivia is like, oh, I'm dressing up like this.
That leads-
Gang girls don't do that normally. So to see her turn around and do a Toreador switch, and then have everyone else go, what?
I will say it. Like, I think one of the more interesting things that I got out of it was like, man, Gabe really has no idea about Olivia at all. He has not been paying attention to her.
And I think that's an interesting thing.
And I think that really, when we went to the party yesterday, Gabe was like, oh, I should be paying more attention.
Frank wasn't too surprised, fortunately, because he's lived with the broad. Like, he knows what she's capable of to an extent.
I think that her coming out into her own like that, it gave a different flavor, a different flair to her that we haven't seen this season.
That's fair. She got to be shiny.
Which is cool, because now my question is Gabe going to turn around and be a bit more attentive?
Oh, yeah.
Frank?
Liar.
I'm sorry. You know what?
Sorry.
I'm not gonna say much more than that. But yes, he will be more attentive.
Oh god, this is not going to end well for half of the people involved.
No, it's not.
Hello, sunlight, my old friend.
Yeah.
Oh god. All right. So at that point, Coterie scampered inside. Well, Frank scampered inside because he was thirsty from overuse of said powers. Drank from a nice Karen, which, kind of rare, not so rare. It happens. And then,
that's when the shit show started.
Yeah, that's the part where someone's going to get hurt.
And then things started making.
That's when the abominations,
growly, scratchy noises on the stables, and it was great.
The innocence of Olivia, like, I'm just gonna wait downstairs for Stanislaw to come back so I could talk to him.
And Gabe's like, let's get the fuck out. This is not our problem.
Yeah.
And Olivia being like, I can't leave. And Gabe being like, you can totally, nobody's stopping you. You can leave. And Olivia being like, I can't leave. I have things that I need to protect. And Gabe being like, that's sus. But you need to leave. Yeah. Yeah.
Chained her to a carpet. Frank started rolling the carpet.
I can't believe you guys decided to chain her up and roll her to carpet.
If she wasn't going to leave willingly, we were going to drag her out.
I'm like, of all the things, let's just do a reenactment of Cleopatra, okay? But in reverse now.
She was chained up on a rug?
No, but she was
rolled up. I thought she was just rolled in a rug.
She was rolled up in a rug, and that's what I'm referring to.
Okay. I wasn't 100 on that, so I figured I'd check.
Okay, look. Yes, it was a little bit rash, but in my defense, it was like these things were going to pop in through, like, whatever, any second, and Gabe was like, no, we need to go now. There's no more talking about this. We're going. Like,
okay.
For what it's worth, though, I think Gabe is also emo, so he's allowed to make rash decisions because he's not 100 right now.
He was very
He hasn't been self-caring.
No, he has not. He has been eating, blood ice cream in his bathrobe, listening to sad 80s power ballads. Like, that's been him lately.
Hey, sad 80s power ballads were my jam back in love. I'm so lost without you.
That explains his text to fucking William. The fact that William knew the song, though, is even better.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Beginning of the episode, Gabe had said, as he's sitting in his bathrobe on the couch, he's messaging William songs. He's messaging him lyrics from Air Supply, All Out of Love. But I had just sent that in the group chat, and
my mind was like, my 80s child was like, oh my god, I remember these songs.
I remember when it came out.
You're not wrong. Though I do remember back in the 80s when I finally got my boombox, was getting all those blank tapes and then making sure I could record the song and nobody would say a word so it wouldn't record over the song.
Yeah. I was not fortunate enough to be born in that beautiful time, but
Samesies.
It was
still near and dear to my heart.
It was a pain in the ass.
So yes, then William had responded back to lyrics too, so it was just
and then followed up with, "Did you think I would not know that? Am I uncultured?" Or some shit like that. The condescending,
So
Actually, I want to say that would be sus for William, because I don't think William actually listens to modern music, does he?
That's not modern. That's from 40 years ago.
technically, he's right.
Okay.
Boom!
All right. Well,
And whether or not he listens to it, I would say that song has become so commercialized in different things that he's probably heard it, like, at least multiple times. So even if it's not necessarily his genre, like, Gabe wouldn't listen to Taylor Swift, but, like, if Shake It Off came on, he'd know all the words. You know what I mean? Like,
okay. All right.
Yeah,
hey, if you could justify it, I'm going with it. That's why I'm asking, because I'm going, would your character know it? Tell me.
I mean, I'm going to outright say, if he didn't know it, he probably would have figured it out because of Josh having a record player down in the fucking basement with a bunch of fucking vinyl.
Fair.
That's the Brouhaha Creed right there.
No, that's fair. I mean, I want to understand how your characters would know this. I don't want to just go unnaturally assume, oh yeah, he would know everything. Because not every kindred does.
Yeah, God no. Like, I roll for my kit, Junie. If it's something where I think my character would know, I'm just going to take that from you, though.
So, I mean, it's kind of funny because when I play Artemis and whatnot, I always say the Book of Faces, or the Tic Tac, or the Tube of Views. So, it's always kind of like, what does your character absolutely know and what don't they?
Yeah.
And so that's why I'm asking, and it helps me to better understand your character, but at the same time making sure that as I'm storytelling and I want to drop a meme or I want to drop a song, that it actually has resonance to your character.
Some of them will go over, characters' heads. Like, I've played it off like, what is that? Like, stuff like that. But you also have to figure, our characters did live through those eras. Yeah. Like, we would have picked up random things throughout those times.
I guess it just depends on the character. Like, if Gabe didn't like music, it wouldn't really matter. But
I'll use an example. I do roleplay with a person who is like 70-something years old as a kindred, who has not seen movies since Gone with the Wind in 1939.
Okay, that's their choice.
And the thing is when they got embraced, they were put into literally the kindred lifestyle. So they really weren't allowed to go into kind culture at all. So they missed like 50 years of pop culture references that they're now just starting to look and watch and understand. So that's why I put into because of those role players, I'm now putting into my own mind going, look, do these characters know it? And to make sure that I'm following up and asking you. So if I do say, wait a minute, do you know this? It's more the question of, I don't know, and it's your character. You tell me what they know and what I can drop as a reference. Just to make sure that I'm playing, making sure I'm storytelling for you guys more correctly.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I mean, also based off of William's feeding habits, like in the instance of, say, going to the movie theater, that is in line with his feeding habits. Like, that would be a matter of convenience. Like, oh, there's somebody single there. Let's look into their eyes and nom 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 nom.
But would he sit and watch the movie?
Huh?
Would he watch the movie?
I mean, I imagine that he would have an ear on it, or, Jean-Philippe, or whatever the fuck we're calling Frenchie this week would pay attention.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Are we ever going to see more French of Jean-Philippe?
I mean, based on William being a dominant personality, like, it would only be in passive scenes where he would not need to take action, or whenever he needs to be a Tremere.
All right.
Like, that would be the bottom line. Like, because they have a symbiotic relationship in that he lets William make the big decisions, but for the smaller things, like, making things homey, and adding his personal touch, he's heard, but he's not seen. Like, kind of like a butler.
Got it. That's fair.
Okay. I can see that. Okay, so with them being
Oh yeah, so we chained her to the fucking rug.
And Artemis is like, you really don't have to do that. at all.
We're like, yes, we do. And then Olivia's like, no, you don't.
So he dropped the binding, let her run on her own. And then Artemis put Gabe and Olivia in her car. Meanwhile, Frank did the thing that Gabe just told Olivia not to do and stayed behind.
Hey, it was calculated.
Yeah, well.
Mm-hmm.
So what'd you see, Frank?
Well, I scampered around to the back. I, thought I was fairly stealthy, but apparently I wasn't after it was all said and done. But I got to see Stanislaw use powers of the old ones. Probably rank 6, rank 7, and rank 8 disciplines. And his children did some shiny little fey vampire things, which, Frank, he knew a little bit about them, but not a lot, so it was a teachable moment. So it was a risk in the, pursuit of knowledge in his case. And, it could have gone horribly wrong, but it didn't.
Well,
yeah.
In theory...
Oh, yeah, I also got to see the Pack Alpha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I can probably put a face to a face if I see him again.
Mm-hmm.
And then as you were making your way back, you wound up with a stake in your back.
Well, pointed towards my back. Like, I could feel the tip, but I was not about to let that happen again. And, the only person that gets to stake me is fucking Amelia. If she's not at the other end of that stake, I don't want it!
This is good to know!
No, she's not going to stake me ever again. Regardless.
Uh-huh.
So a brief conversation was had there. It was a very Russian accent, and Frank reacted as one would. Clotho's gift, super fucking hungry, but not hungry enough to, kill her with his fangs, which is quite fortunate for Frank because he would have lost that battle of wills. And,
yes, you would have.
Yeah, that would have been a nasty surprise for the fucking coterie.
Actually, is it nasty or entertaining? I can't tell which is which.
Knowing that he was that hungry, though.
Knowing a little dash here, a little dash there.
Knowing he was that hungry, though, and, being a true Brujah, was able to make a smart decision and just be like, okay, Clotho's gift, turn, pop up, push. And it worked. She ended up with a stake in the heart, took her into some nearby woods, decapitated her with hands.
Brute force.
Yeah,
Yeah, kids, never do that.
I fucked up my rolls, Junie. I actually should have had 2 more die because I had added 2, but my app didn't include them because I added 2 my strength since the original time. Yeah. So it should have took a lot less time to,
play whack-a-mole with somebody's head.
Yeah, to Mr. Potato Head or ass.
Good to know.
Ended up ashing Anastasia and, cleaned up, and, taking off jacket. And unfortunately, the coterie were Frank's not right behind us. Oh, God damn it.
Yeah, and that was a thing.
Turned back around, went back.
Yeah. Y'all found me right as I was coming out of the woods, and I was like, oh, hi.
Found Frank, was like, can we leave now? Olivia's like, I don't want to leave now. Gabe's like, you guys are crazy. With her. I'm going home.
I'll go with her, you take this. And, you notice a little bit of blood on there, you're like, oh, fuck. Yeah. And things were horribly wrong when Frank was just like, take my bike.
Yeah.
Because Frank never lets anyone.
Yeah, that was big sign for Gabe.
That was total sus.
Oh, that's
he's serious.
Very bad. Okay.
And somehow or another we got Olivia back into the SUV. We scampered home. Well, to her home. And there was 2 different scenes that happened there. So you took the bike over to Williams. Did you want to dive into that first, or we want to dive into the closing scene with Olivia and Frank?
Whatever, I can dive into the conversation with William. So, Gabe went there, was like, hi, William, bestie, love of my life, that kind of thing. Was like, I have a question to ask you. Or no, he was like, I'm about to do something really stupid, but before I do, I have a question, and I'll tell you this stupid thing that I'm going to do if you answer my question. And the question was, did you kill the prince? Which Gabe knew was going to be a no.
Yeah, that was a hard pass. That was a no.
But Gabe had said he'd ask, so he asked.
Yeah, due diligence. Did you
Yeah.
believe William? Is the thing.
Yes.
Does William believe William, Junie?
In hindsight, I could have done an investigation roll, but Gabe doesn't actually think he did, so
That's fair.
he wouldn't have had a reason to question that.
Does William have a direct hand in the prince's downfall, Junie? Just to verify.
No, she's making rolls. That's bad.
I mean, the answer is no, because he hasn't been involved in that aspect.
Maybe.
by proxy,
Indirect.
indirect involvement.
More so than Jackson, or less so than Jackson?
Well, Jackson,
say
you
less
definitely
so.
had.
Oh, Jesus.
Jackson was yeah, that was your fault.
Less than Jackson, but Jackson only is higher than a smidge.
Oh, that's fine. Oh God, it's Josh's fault.
Maybe it was more the fact that Josh had some kind of protection that when William took over, there was no longer that protection anymore.
Yeah.
No, column A, column B. Tremere should know how to protect themselves. Right, Gabe?
Yes.
Oh,
well,
in theory, if we
we're
were
not really about that.
Hold on a minute. If we remember last season, she was starting to go slightly insane.
Yeah, little by little, piece by piece. I mean...
And she was being driven insane. So maybe there was
Okay.
protections that kind of fell through when somebody took over Barony.
Well, maybe those protections were regarding a certain Lasombra that's in the hole in the ground, and that Lasombra drove her to fucking drink. I don't know. I'm not going to be somebody else's excuse for being an alcoholic.
Hence, I said indirect. Because I don't think he
Fair
directly
enough.
wanted anything to happen to the person, so.
Yeah. I mean, that prince was good for Artemis and Josephine, so, I mean, he wouldn't want anything ill to happen to her. Jackson's more of a wild card, and he does not appreciate that. So
Well,
that's the
Jackson
reason why
is a
he's-
wild card.
Yeah, that's the reason why he's, plotting rebel against rebellion and trying to unify as many forces as possible to keep Jackson on his toes. Because if he's spread out with, his hounds and his,
Yeah.
Bruja and his different, assets, then he's not a direct threat while he's on his toes.
That's fair.
That's ultimately where William wanted to go with this war, is render him ineffective.
Okay. That's fair.
He's got a plan. Like, nobody believes that William's actually smart enough to, have a plan.
Oh, I'm not
Maybe
saying
sort of
he's
Gabe.
not.
I don't know, Gabe. Do you believe that he has a plan?
I believe he has a plan. I just
You don't believe it's a
don't.
good plan.
think it's the best plan.
That's fair. That's fair. Well, you do have his ear. You could always correct
Yeah.
him.
Oh, I know. Well, I'm working on it.
Correct
I'm
his
working on it.
posture.
So yeah, so after Gabe asked about the prince, then Gabe told William that he was gonna go talk to Morgan and the sheriff about the break-in at the Tremere Chantry, about how he thinks that it's partially his fault. To which William was like,
How can
don't
I
know.
help you?
"Yeah, well, actually, I think your direct words were, I don't know whether to be proud or upset. I'm not really sure."
Proud or disappointed?
I am both
Disappointed.
proud and disappointed.
Disappointed.
Proud
and,
and disappointed.
and Gabe was kind of like, "Well, it wasn't really my fault. I was kind of being tortured for information." So,
Switching
that was-
persona there a little
yeah.
bit.
to which, by
Do
the
you
way,
need protection.
ship confirmed.
Say
But-
that
I mean, you are smoke, so where there's smoke, there's fire. Yeah, I guess that makes
Yeah,
sense. That shit's burning down.
Yeah, so there was that, and then Gabe was like, "Chill out, it's fine."
You don't need protection. I'll personally escort you. It'll be fine. Didn't go that far. He would have if you would have.
No, Gabe was like, probably not the greatest idea to bring William along for that.
The valley of shadow death, and I fear no evil, because I am that motherfucker in the valley.
So that was that, and then back over to Olivia and Frank.
Yeah, so got home. Frank apologized and literally said, there were things I didn't know that they were capable of, and it terrifies me. Which is accurate, seeing powers that Frank doesn't understand just yet, that, are at a psychological level that he considers beyond Malkavian, like, yeah, that is a concern, because you don't know who to trust, who not to trust, and having not experienced them and only seen the outward effects, like, yeah, it's a bad time for most of the people that could be involved.
Well, the thing is that most people don't remember, let alone know about Kia said, that most of their powers are very much alien to everyone else.
Yeah, I mean, Frank only knew a little bit because of what he read in books, like, about the, runes that trigger insanity and confusion and things of that sort. Like, that's the reason why he was looking for those types of things on the shattered bits of wood and stuff.
Yeah, well, being that, the stable is something she wouldn't go to Mark because those runes and whatnot are to disorientate people. Why would I disorientate horses?
Yeah, or dogs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that turned out. There was a brief conversation with him and Olivia, further educating her on what he saw and what he believes each one of them is capable of. So, and she at least has a better understanding of what the Kia said and what her great, not grandsire, but great...
it's more of like a...
grandfather,
let's see.
Great-great-great-great-grandfather.
Hold on. I have his sheet here. Give me 1 second. I can actually tell you. Stanislaw. He was born in... We're talking about 6th to maybe 8th great-great-grandfather.
Okay, I was pretty close. After the third great-great-great-great-great-great-great
Well,
grandfather.
he's 557 years old.
Got it. Oldest then.
Yes. He could have been there for the Convention of Thorns.
Probably was.
I mean, yeah.
Like, let's be fair.
I would probably put money on it.
Probably involved. Yeah. So that happens, and I'm sure one of Frank's goals in the upcoming week is to share what he saw with anybody who will listen in the coterie, and probably as far as William, to be like, hey, these people could be threats.
Well, that's great, because one of Gabe's goals is to talk to William about the blood on the... or to talk to Frank about the blood on the jacket. Find out exactly whose it is, and what Frank saw, so...
You can just dip your tongue in it, you'll be fine, like...
I mean, if Gabe, based off of the role I did for that, Gabe got a fairly educated guess on it, but...
I mean, doesn't your taste the blood or whatever it is tell you what generation, what clan, and things of that sort?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you would have gotten Malkavian, Jin, like 8 or 7 or some shit like that. And...
Yep.
Speaking of which, I've been waiting to do this.
Oh, don't rip it. Don't rip it. You might need it for later.
I just ripped off. I ripped it in half, and I'm saving the top part, which is what I'll have to need.
Nice.
By the way, hold on.
See, guys, this is why you don't make characters for Junie. Because she'll rip them in half right in front of you. To Rick, you've been warned.
It's almost like a 6 satisfaction one.
It is a 6 satisfaction.
Yeah.
I mean, I created her to be strong, but I didn't expect True Bruja to be stronger.
Yeah, well, when you pop a 10 crit for Kalathu's gift...
Yeah, I mean, it was worth having 1 willpower.
Yeah.
What was I supposed to do? I'm like, she had a 5 thing of celerity, but your Kalathu's gifts went,
she also had potence, didn't she?
Bye,
to
bitch.
protect herself physically?
By the time you turned around and pushed the stake in, that was when she ignited the celerity. She would not have gotten potence off before that.
That's fair. Okay.
Nor would she have been able to do fortitude.
That's fair. So I got lucky.
Got
lucky that she underestimated me.
I'll put it to you this way. If it was Gabe instead of Frank, then we would have had to do a battle. where she would have probably popped Celerity, Fortitude, and then Potence.
Yep.
And Gabe's best move there would have been
Chains of Binding and then Staff of Belated Quest. Yes.
Staff
yeah,
of
yeah,
Belated-
The Death Stab.
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it would have been a 50-50. Anybody could have won.
Yeah.
I mean-
think Gabe probably. Honestly, I think Gabe probably would have lost that solo.
I'm sorry.
I think if Gabe had tried to solo her, he would have lost.
Yeah, especially since she had the advantage from.
Right,
Yeah.
because she was behind his back.
Yeah.
But the
So-
moment you turned around and popped Clotho's gift, which then killed off her Celerity, because again, 10 successes. You had a crit, right?
Yeah.
I
Let's not
can't.
talk about that.
No, you had 10 successes with a crit. She has a 5 in Celerity.
Yeah, I mean, she was strong. I just got lucky as shit.
Yeah, you did.
I cannot, as a storyteller, go, oh no, the NPC would have still done it because of the roll. I have to be fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, she had a good roll, and I had a good stacked roll. Like,
So just maybe this is a little meta, but for goals purposes,
Mhm.
if Frank wants to talk to Gabe and William, and Gabe wants to talk to Frank, William, and Olivia, then I think it might be more pertinent for one of Gabe's goals to be like, family meeting.
I'm not your family, but I appreciate the sentiment.
Okay, family and boss meeting.
That's better.
There you go. Have to stroke that
Stroke
ego.
Or family and friends.
If you present the ego, I'll stroke it, my lord. Like,
Maybe Chidari is glad she didn't show up today.
probably.
I mean, I have something I would say, but it's not TOS friendly, so let's just move on.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
That's fair. That's completely fair.
So yeah, that's more or less what happened in yesterday's game. I almost said last week's game. I mean, I would have been right either way.
Yeah.
But more or less, yeah, that's the chaos that we just, had ourselves thrust into.
Yeah, I'll be
Thrust
curious to
upon
see how
you.
the next one goes into.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. Which we decided we're not doing one next week? I don't know. I don't remember.
I know.
Thanksgiving?
Okay, well, I know that Tanari is not available.
Right.
I didn't know. I know Nerdy will be available.
I should be okay.
I should be good.
Okay.
So.
We should be able to do one then.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool.
Because then that's when you guys could do a family meeting.
Except for
Olivia.
And I'll just talk with Tanari on the side then.
No, that's fine. And also, you guys can then catch Nerdy up on what's been happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
That's
watch
true.
that beautiful chaos go.
The downside is
Completely wrong.
I'd have to change the meeting with Gwen and Morgan then.
Oh yeah, that's not a problem. You can always
If we can.
actually, you know what? If you want, we can turn around and time bubble this a bit so that as we have next Saturday, it could be that Sunday, so that you don't have to worry about missing the meeting, or you could.
And then we can sort of jump into the following week afterward.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
sounds
that
like
works
fun.
for me. That works.
If that's perfect, because what I could do.
At least depending on if they stake you or not. Like, I mean, that's going to dictate a lot of different.
Well, because part of Gabe's thing is depending on how these conversations go depends on exactly what he's going to tell them. So.
Yeah. So we'll find out. It's better to play it close to our chest.
No, that's fine. And you know what? I want to make it entertaining for you guys, and I want to make it fun for you. So, however you prefer to work this out time wise, I'm fine with. Time is always very fluid. Time is always something that we can bounce around and move around. It's not cemented in stone. It's not a fixed point in time. As Dr.
we
Hill
can
said.
we can see that with a certain person who pops a time stop every episode. Yeah.
You know, I don't pop time stops. That's actually fucking Gwen's thing. So that leads me to the question, Junie. She has 8 points in Temporis, doesn't she? Truthfully.
Maybe.
That's the reason why she can rewind. That's the reason why she can go in the future, and that's the reason why she can just make days skip at a time. I just wanted to make sure.
Note to self: don't fuck with Gwen.
Let's just put it this way. She may have started at a generation that was, easily elder level right off the bat. And during her time, she may or may not have Diablerized people. So she has dropped her generation due to her own ambition.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah, I think Frank shares that same ambition for what that's worth. Like, you see how quickly I'm like, no, kill or eats. And that's
do I eat her or kill her first?
Yeah, well, no, he's not going to do that to Gwen. Like, he respects her for helping him attain this.
Oh, no,
that's worth.
That I understand, but I kind of laughed because I was still going, wait a minute, you're going to turn around and kill her? Are we Diablerizing? Because that's immediately where I was going with.
That's what I thought you were going to do.
I didn't realize you were only at one will point.
Yeah. I mean, I had burned through a lot that evening to make sure that, I didn't fuck up. Just in social interactions, because I didn't think that there would be combat at the end. So really, that did me a favor, because there was still a chance I would lose, because I don't know how much willpower she used.
We played this game, and we assumed there wasn't going to be combat at some point.
Well, I mean, it's not D&D.
This is okay. Now I'm glad you brought that up. I'm glad I'm glad you brought that up. I'm watching Critical Role. I am on episode 37 now. They are on a boat, and they've just killed harpies. So I'm sure some of you guys know where I'm at in all of this.
No idea.
Okay, good. And what it's kind of funny is that in most episodes, it's kind of cool the way that they handle things. And he goes, "Okay, you're here," and he pulls out this model almost every fucking episode.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, Matt Mercer's amazing. But the funny part is that literally everything that every D&D campaign goes through is...
My campaign that I run specifically is low combat.
Okay.
So not every session has combat. A lot of it's heavy RP.
Okay.
But in some other games that I play in, there is combat almost every session. Sometimes there's multiple combats in one session. It varies.
Yeah, it depends on the... Yeah, I mean, like, let's say Strahd, you're always on your toes. Like, that's the one I do after Vampire most Saturdays. And that's just utter chaos. Like, we just go from situation to situation. It's just like, oh, God, there's combat. Oh, God, there's, there's RP here and there when we get to towns, but then there's still combat.
It depends on the story, too. In the new short campaign that I'm going to be running on stream starting on the 4th, there is guaranteed at least one or if not two combats every session because that's how I structured the short campaign.
All right.
It is mostly combat. So it's really on the attention of the DM and like what the players want in the story. Some people like lots of combat, some people don't.
Okay, so as two D&D players, my question to you is that in Vampire, it is more heavily role play. It's more heavily negotiating things and moving around. I guess, even though I should ask this of all the party, I'm asking you guys in kind of like getting a sample. Do you guys want more combat, or do you want more roleplay, or like combat sprinkled in along the way?
I think the natural structure of how this system runs, you almost are replacing the combat that you might have in like a D&D campaign with social combat, with those like, the willpower, the wits and awareness rolls, with the contested, those type of things. So it's almost being replaced with that social, social awareness. Okay. Because I was explaining this to my DM the other day because he wanted to learn more about Vampire the Masquerade stuff. And I was like, imagine that you have a party of all evil nobles in a setting run by evil nobles and even more eviler, nobler NPCs. Like everything is subversive and you have to watch your words and every word has like counterplay. Like, so once you get into that mindset, that's the difference.
It's 5D chess.
Yeah, basically.
Okay. I'll go with
that's
this.
Accurate. With vampire, it is very much social combat, and actual combat as a last line. Like with Frank, he's smart enough to try to get out of that situation, but the fact that he was at a disadvantage to start with, that required combat. But earlier on, making Olivia stop talking was just a matter of popping a power and stopping that social combat, stopping that social interaction.
Okay.
So I agree with Sai 100%. It is very much. I actually enjoy the social combat more than physical, but I also acknowledge that the physical has its place and is a great asset. I mean, in cases, say, you need to overpower an older one to diablerize. Like, you're gonna take the bullet and be like, okay, stake, and burn through them. Like,
I think for the way the system runs, the social combat's even more important than the physical combat.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
because I have learned, and I've learned that as I've switched my storytelling a bit more to let you guys drive it instead of me, things have been going a lot smoother. You guys you've been more interactive, more engaged, and basically going, this is what we want to do. When I'm like, okay, well, here's a new day, here's all of your information that has come to you as, that week has happened, and letting you guys tell me where you're going. I don't write as much anymore, which is kind of less stressful for me. But I guess for me, it's like, I want to make sure, even though we do the Thorns and Roses, which I'm eternally grateful for, I still want to make sure that I'm giving you the content that you want and the content that you guys desire in this roleplay to keep it going. And
I think that's just part of the call and response, though. It's
an ebb and flow.
Okay.
Yeah, if you're letting us kind of dictate how things go, but are giving us like a response, like then we're getting what we want out of it.
Like,
okay.
Yeah.
I mean, each character has their own personalities that we finally, at least for me, safe with Frank, I feel like I finally have a grasp on who he truly is, rather than just the simple thoughts that he had initially. Like, now he's more complex. Same with William. Like, there's the top layer, there's the under layer,
he's
and then
like an onion.
Under layer.
I thought it was more like parfait.
Onions have layers.
He is like a parfait, and I'm sure you'll find him delicious. Regardless, let's go ahead and move on to what goals we have. I know we've touched upon them briefly, but just to get them out there.
To continue to make excellent content and make sure that you guys are enjoying the game. That's my goal.
That's a good goal. That's a very good goal.
Great goal.
Thank
That's
you.
a great goal.
I'm simple.
Do you want me to dive in?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so for Frank, it's easy. Finish telling Olivia about what he saw, what he assumes they're capable of based on his actions, and not going to tell her exactly who he killed, other than that bitch from the tower. Like, if she asks about it, he'll say, it was a Russian broad that had a stake in my back. Like, but he won't go into names or anything of that sort, because, I mean, that's liability, because she has a habit of running her mouth. He'll probably work on...
I wouldn't know why!
Yeah, he'll probably work on
Brothers
Blue Age.
Grimm Distillery.
Yeah, about to get into that. Gonna work on another batch, get that out to New York over the course of the week. Probably be back in town by Thursday. Trying to think. William, I mean, his goals are a little bit more, they're a lot less simple now that, you told him that you were possibly the liability. So, I believe he actually has to take a trip to the Chantry with Jean-Philippe to try to smooth things over in advance.
Oh, do let me know. Can we roleplay that at some point? Either live?
Please, no, don't do that, because literally Gabe's main goal this week is to go and talk to Morgan and Glenn about this.
I mean, you said you were going to have a meeting with them. He would go in advance to say, there's going to be a constituent of mine will be here.
You're fucking up my plans!
I would love to roleplay this.
Oh, God, I would too.
Because I think that's where we might open up.
Okay. That'd be fine, yeah.
My dear Gabriel, I do love him. He's so beautiful.
God damn it.
He's got buttocks of the gods.
Oh Lord.
No, that was not a direct translation.
Oh Jesus, Mary, and
How do
Joseph,
you
and all the saints.
say?
Damn it, William.
Oh
He makes my
God.
cheese happy. No, that's not the same.
I'm sure he also makes your cheese happy.
You know, if he had a chance to make your cheese happy, he'd be all over that.
Totally. Put googly eyes and a
Spread-
smiley face on that baby.
Abso-fucking-lutely.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Oh, give Gabe googly eyes and a hot glue gun.
I mean, I'm trying to think. Would William actually reach out to him to say because Gabe was adamant that he wouldn't want anything.
Shall
that he don't
we
want
play
protection
the
or
D20
anything.
game?
No, because it's my character and I'm going to decide what he does.
Okay, because I was gonna say I've already rolled. I've rolled, and
Sorry,
you can. No, that's fine. I'm giving you the option
Yeah, I got you.
to let fate
Yeah.
decide.
Oh god, I just pulled a U.
Yes, yes,
Oh
you
god,
did.
I did. Because you're like, no, I'm going to tell you how this works out. Oh, it's just like that clip from season fucking 1. Oh god.
Uh-huh.
Oh god, I just pulled a U. All right.
Somebody got to clip that.
We'll circle back around to that because I know Sai's got time restraints. I mean, that would be a possible goal. William does need to work on a couple. I mean, he needs to try to get his sister out of there. That's kind of his goal long term.
Wait, which
that
sister
we
out
need
of
to do.
what?
Josephine out of Camarilla territory because he doesn't know. He doesn't want that, sort of Damocles hanging above his head with, the new prince having a possible asset of his.
I mean, does the prince know that she's an asset of his?
Not yet, but I'm sure it'll show up eventually. It's just a matter of time. Like, that's how this works is, if there are any familial connections, they get sniffed out. And I mean, Gwen is nice enough to probably protect her, but that's not to say that, one of the hounds would happen to not include that information, or if it slips up based on a conversation with Sun or somebody else that's trying to gain favor. But I mean, Sun looks at Jackson as if he were a blundering idiot, and Jackson looks at him as if he's
Or if
a child.
Or if father shows up.
Yeah, I mean, if Daddy Deer shows up, but I mean that's only been alluded to for a while. That's not going to happen this season because he hasn't shown up yet, based on
That's
the timelines.
not gonna happen this season, he said.
Yeah, it'll happen at the
Look at
very
that
end.
smirk on Junie's face.
It'll happen at the end.
And tell me it's not gonna happen.
No, I already know. I already know how that's going to play out. But let's not talk about that because
Oh!
let's just say
I don't know yet. I haven't decided.
William's glad to have Gabriel as a friend. Let's just go with that. You would be the
Oh,
one
we're
phone
friends
call.
now.
Oh, by the
I told you that
way,
yesterday.
at the end of this lovely episode, Artemis did buy roses, make it into a heart, and leave it on the door of
Yeah,
Tony's
Tony's.
Pizza.
Yeah, I know you mentioned that.
Nice.
Because that ship's gotta sail.
Yeah, I will. I'll tell you this, Rono. If you figure out what William's gonna do, I'm gonna let you know right now that if William goes there and Gabe finds out about it, Gabe's got a goal to add to his.
Oh, am I going to be in
List.
your black book?
No,
Oh,
Never
I was
been.
actually thinking about a possible because I have the little fun goals.
yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna do one for him this week, but as payback, he might.
Do
Well,
I-
I have to reconcile and not meta.
Yeah.
Like, I know that Gabe has mentioned outright that he doesn't want help because he declined all the other offers. William is proper enough. He would probably reach out and say, "Would you like me to accompany you or go in advance?" Jean-Philippe
Gabe would be like-
would love to have words with Morgana.
Actually, if you mention John Philippe, knowing that is your Tremere, Gabe
Yeah.
might change his mind on that.
Yeah, that's exactly what he would say verbatim. Jean-Philippe would love to have words with our dear Morgana. And that would be exactly what he would say. Because, he does have his own protocols that he follows in regards to maintaining respect.
Yeah, because Gabe wouldn't want William to come, but
Right.
John Philippe might be a
John
different
Philippe
story.
decided to come with you and have a good time. Say hello to his dear friend Morgana. In a terrible
that
French
would be-
accent.
That would be a different story. Yeah.
Yeah, that
You know
would be
what?
how-
Fuck it. I'm just gonna put the fun goal on there for funsies now. I've already decided. It doesn't matter what you.
Okay, then that's decided. I'm almost interested. I am now interested and slightly concerned.
Yeah,
No,
I mean,
it's nothing bad.
Okay.
Yeah, it can't be bad because, Jean Philippe's a very, like I said, he's a butler. He's a very passive person.
Besides, when have Gabe's fun fuck with William goals ever been bad? They're just annoying.
Twice.
There's a difference.
They've been rather irksome. Regardless,
Exactly.
That's probably the reason why he keeps you around to challenge him. Anyways, in a healthy way.
This is fair. This is fair.
And I guess that more or less covers it as well. And I mean, it's a dangerous move going into Camarilla territory as a Baron, but
Mhm.
I mean, if they think he's going to the Tremere Chantry, I mean, we're going to the new one too, not the old one. So we don't even. And they said, and I quote, "It is closer to you."
It's also the security facility, correct?
Yeah, that
If I
has
remember
been
correctly.
by those that have been cleared.
Oh, this is gonna be fun.
Yeah.
I am the highest clearance you need.
The fuck? Excuse me, zone of truth.
I
Who are
believe
you?
that.
I think Wisdom might. I think not Wisdom. I think William might make that save though.
Yeah, well, here's the
Probably.
question. Morgan would be like, and who are you exactly?
My friends know me as Willie, although you can call me William. Now,
Oh,
we've
okay.
met before.
If William was coming, Gabe would at least let them know he was coming.
I mean, it's the William container
That's-
with the Jean Philippe inside. Like, let's be
Yeah,
fair.
yeah. Gabe would not just show up with William without letting them know that he was bringing him.
The
I'm
funny
bringing
thing,
a
That's
Malkavian
just
Tremere
rude.
hybrid.
no, the funny thing is that would he come in as William or as Jean Philippe?
I mean, initially he would probably because William takes care of the dominant things, and Jean Philippe takes care of the day-to-day things. Like he has a better attention to detail. He's much more, like I said, he's butler.
Because I'm
He gets
looking.
through the day-to-day.
Yeah, but the thing is that if to go into the chantry, you got to do a couple of things.
I digress. One moment, please. Jean Philippe, come out and play.
Gwen will watch this going.
That would be probably how it goes. Like they have an unhealthy symbiotic relationship, but we knew this.
And Morgan would be like, "You're pretending to be Tremere. How quaint."
Foosh.
Oh yeah, right.
Just do a little flame.
Hold on. Whoosh.
Oh, I do like yours. It's much more green.
Yeah.
Don't teach me how to do that.
It's called Crucio Ingranius, and I can't say the word correctly. Crucio Ignites, whatever.
Ignatius.
Whatever. You guys all can say words better than I can.
We pronounce. Also, I have Latin, so I mean, it's not hard to
Hey,
figure out what words.
I
to say
remember
if you
mea
talk
culpa,
Latin.
mea culpa, Christus mea
Okay,
culpa.
you know what? I'm regretting this decision.
Yeah, no, it won't be a pissing contest. It'll be
Maybe not good.
Oh, it'll be
Oh,
hilarious because I
that'll
have
be fun.
absolutely no idea what Morgan.
I like. Okay, me as a player, I want to see it, but
Oh yeah.
Gabe
Gabe
is
in
like,
that moment would be like, "Fuck."
Yeah.
Maybe I shouldn't have done this.
yeah,
I'm all for this just to see what will happen.
yeah. What? You know what? Light the fire. Fuck it. Let's do it.
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, I don't see it going horrible, and because I mean, it would be a good way to actually introduce and play Jean Philippe for a session or part of a session,
Mhm.
because he kind of falls into the shadows a little bit.
Like a lot because I think you've played him maybe once or twice, and it was like for 30 seconds.
Four
Four
different
times?
times, 30
Yeah.
seconds,
Yeah.
minute and a half, and like very small bits
Yeah.
in the course of 4 or 5 hours. And normally it was just a matter of him popping out and being like, "Hello there, how are you?"
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's
But-
it.
But before we do that, Gabe's got to get cards on tables. So
Yes.
that's got to happen first.
So what we could definitely do is we could start the session off as a family meeting and go from it that way and see how y'all roll.
Yep.
And I'm sure you can have a conversation with Olivia after.
Yeah, I'll send her a message. I'll try to send it to her tonight.
Okay.
If I can.
That's fair. I am good
All
with
right.
this. You just let me
now that we
know
get to...
how that...
Sorry.
Yeah, I was just going to say, just let me know how that conversation goes.
Well,
Just keep me updated and we'll be good.
now that we have goals taken care of, any closing thoughts or anything of that sort that we want to share with the rest of the class? Character thoughts, not character thoughts?
I am so relieved to be back.
I'm so glad that I can actually do this. I'm like, for the past 2 weeks, I'm like, oh my god, I gotta drop the fever down. I've got to get the coughing underneath control. I want to play. I miss this.
I've missed it too.
It was nice having a break because I could, disassociate from, my
Yeah.
assholes.
Wait a minute.
but
They're
I
your
missed it.
assholes.
I know, and I should only have one.
But you're the one who made 2.
Well, it was a buy one get one. I didn't
That just means
think
next
about it.
season that you have to up your game and make 4.
I was just thinking that is like Jean-Philippe,
Well-
James.
Being that we only have 9 sessions left before this season ends, I will pose the question to everyone for next season. What are we playing and who are we playing? Because there's been 2 new books that came out to Chicago Folios, and then Let the Streets Run Red. It has opened up more of Illinois, Wisconsin, and Indiana in the sense of where you want to play, where you can play, what is going on with those areas. But at the same point, do you want to turn around and dive into a new character? Do you want to pick up the characters
New
from
city,
last
new
season?
characters.
Do you want to continue the characters from this season? And you guys have plenty of time to think about it. But
Yeah.
it's also giving you that sense of, hey, being that Sam
Yeah,
played
choices.
being that Sam played Adventure last season, there, Sam is now playing Tremere now. Do you want to dive into an Abano Hakim? Do you want to go into they're Ravenos, the Tizzy Mice, because we all know I can't say
Denise.
that.
A follower of Seth.
That's now. Here's the thing: is that are we going the Ministry, or are you actually going follower set? And on top of that, Ravenos, Tizzy Mice, and Celebrity are opening up next month.
Junie,
Yes.
Humanity 5, Tizzy Mice. If I'm making a new character, I've had that one on the back burner for a while. I know the personality. I know what kind of level of fucked up it's going to be.
Okay.
And Smalls is going to have to take off the headset every other session, but it would be a good time.
Well,
I
we can
will
also
say
do
this,
camping. So
I do have a couple other characters made, although if I'm being really honest, I wouldn't mind bringing Gabe back if it made sense.
I mean,
Because I am kind of enjoying it, but it.
I enjoy Frank, but I need to kill him because the power creep is real. There can only be one real true Ruha.
I look at it from the standpoint of is depending on how we do next season. I'm open to whatever you guys would like to do, and I'm opening up, Tizzy, Tizzy Mice, Ravenos, and Silver because they are going to be available next month. On top of that, whatever they open up because of whenever they open up next year. But I also want you to kind of explore this world, not just in Gabe style, but in other different clans and whatnot.
Yeah.
So you guys really get more of a feel of the world, different personas, and also the conflicts and all of the other possibilities that you could have. Even though we have Chicago, we could do 1,000,000,001 different things in Chicago.
I mean, we could also take
Yeah.
a step out of Chicago with our characters from Chicago.
Which we can go to Milwaukee, we can go to we can go to Milwaukee, Indianapolis, Gary, wherever.
If you're gonna open it up to the Ravnos, I may go that direction because they're kind of like the shady ones, the roguey ones, right?
There's a lot of rogue ones if you play them right, depending on what you want to do.
Well, I mean they're like criminal types, yeah. Is that what they're like? general
They're
thing
more
is.
of
I did like a brief reading over of the stuff that they're releasing, but
what they're going to be releasing. I don't know yet. We'll find out.
Okay.
I don't know how they're going to write them this for V5, but they are known
Okay.
as more of the raw. Can you say the word for me, please?
Zamisi?
No, Romney.
Romani?
Thank you.
Not Mitt Romney, Junie. Ro. Ma.
Okay.
Me.
We all know I can't say things. That's why I say tizzy mice instead of
It's a teachable moment, though. Repeat after me. Ro.
Ro,
Ma.
man,
Ni.
ni,
Now, put the first two together. Ro. Ma.
Roma,
Now, ni.
ni,
Now, put all three of them together.
Romani.
Mani. Yeah!
Good. It's the only time I'm going to say it correctly. Clip that. It'll be the only time I say it correctly because I will not remember this. Because
so in the
goldfish
sense
memory.
that they're like a more nomadic type.
They are very nomadic. They are very much they kind of stay together, but it's more of like maybe 2 or 3 if you're lucky. Otherwise,
Gotcha.
they are very much a loner.
Okay.
But the thing is that, and what started off this whole Second Inquisition was that one of their antediluvians went batshit crazy over in the Middle East. It took as many of them as they could to try and stop them, then brought in the Guru, then brought in the mages, and then it took the technocracy to drop a fucking bomb.
Nuke. Yeah,
Got
the
it.
nuke. They glassed it.
Got it. Okay.
And
Yeah, I don't know. That seems interesting. I would probably be down to play that and explore that.
Like,
Yeah.
that was like the 100-Year War in the course of, like,
a week,
Weeks.
3 weeks, 3 or 4 weeks.
yeah,
Nice.
it was weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there was bloodshed. Kindred died. No, that was probably one of the most interesting things I've read about Vampire. But we're getting to that 3:30 mark, so let's go ahead and
Yeah.
start
Okay.
closing out. Throw
Till
out
next
the social media and all that jazz. Thank you all for joining us
Oh,
for
God,
Take a
wait,
Breath,
I
our
gotta-
weekly review of our chronicles. Thank you all for joining us. Again, Junie Von Esch, Cymerk, Verono Gaming. We appreciate y'all. Check out all of our different social medias, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and other assets. Also, check out our friends and family at the links provided in chat. And thank you all for joining us. We'll hope to see y'all next week. Happy Thanksgiving.
Have a good one. Bye.